Do you want to know what it's like to use a Steam Deck with Valve's official docking station? For instance, if you connect a mouse, keyboard and monitor to it, well then, is it basically just as good as using a Windows PC? Or how about if you hook it up to your TV and use it like a more traditional gaming console? And finally, is it even necessary to buy the official dock when there are cheaper alternatives out there? Well then, stick around and I'll tell you everything I know. First up, let's take a look at what you get in the box. We have the docking station itself. No surprises there. And we have a 45-watt USB-C power adapter, which appears to be identical to the charger which comes with the Steam Deck. Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, that means that anyone who's going to buy one of these docks already has one of them. It'll definitely come in handy, but it does seem like a bit of an unnecessary addition, which is actually just driving the price up ultimately. Okay, now that everything's unpacked, the first place I want to try it out is at my desk. We all know the Steam Deck is technically a PC, so I want to see if I can finally use it just like a regular PC. Okay, no biggie. I'll just switch to desktop mode and fix my display settings. Okay, this is incredibly tedious. I've been wrestling with the display settings for about 10 minutes now, and I had to restart several times. And I found that it's just a lot more stable when you only have one external display plugged in at a time. Hopefully this will be patched at some point, but yeah, I'm going to conduct the rest of the review with just one display. Which is a real shame because everybody knows that two screens are better than one. Okay, maybe not so much when it comes to gaming, but what if you're trying to get some work done? The fact that there's a display port as well as an HDMI out, that should be one of the biggest pulling factors for this product. Anyway, moving on with one external display. And let's stay in desktop mode for a minute and see if we can use the Steam Deck to get some work done. And the answer to this is largely going to depend on the type of work you do and whether the applications you use are natively supported. Microsoft Office apps are not. But there are some ways around this, if you're willing to put in a little bit of time or research. Or you can just do what I did and use the browser-based version of Office 365. I was able to get OBS running for screen recording, and I managed to design the thumbnail for this video through a web browser. But let's just say I won't be getting rid of my Windows PC anytime soon. But who wants to work anyway? The Steam Deck is first and foremost a gaming device. And one example of when the dock really does come in handy is during all those times that you inevitably find yourself switching to desktop mode to do things which are going to enhance your gaming experience. You know, like say if you wanted to play games which you've sourced from somewhere other than your Steam library. And speaking of games, why don't we play some? Now, mobility is probably the main reason most people would buy a Steam Deck. But some games are just far better to play with a mouse and keyboard and a nice big monitor. First-person shooters, for instance. The trouble is, for some of these games, it's not always easy to maintain a decent frame rate at higher resolutions. But if you temper your expectations a little and choose something that's not too demanding, or just tweak the settings until you land on a playable frame rate, well then, as you can see here, you'll actually have yourself a pretty decent PC gaming experience. But what if you don't want to be sitting at your desk? Will the Steam Deck hold up as a living room console? Yes. Now don't expect to play the latest AAA titles at 4K and 60 frames per second. That's not going to happen. But this little guy is roughly as powerful as an 8th generation console, so think PS4, Xbox One levels of performance. And by the way, if you do happen to own another console, then the chances are you can probably use its controller with your Steam Deck, as long as it has Bluetooth or USB connectivity. Well, this all sounds great, but do I really need to spend $90 or £79 on the official Valve docking station? Can't I just buy a regular USB-C dock? Well, yeah, Actually, you can. You see, there's an endless variety of USB docks and hubs out there to suit everyone's needs and budgets. And you can pick up a third-party device with very similar capabilities for a lot less than what Valve is asking. I've placed an affiliate link to this particular dock in the description below. So if you do decide to buy one, then you can support my channel in the process by using them, and I'd appreciate that. As far as I'm aware, the only real benefits for going with the original are you do have a lower chance of running into compatibility issues. You can download and install firmware updates directly through the Steam Deck, whereas with third parties, you may need to connect them to a Windows PC to do this. And lastly, as I said earlier, it does come with its own USB-C 45-watt power cable. But as we've established, you probably already have one of those. Without a dock, the Steam Deck is a world-class mobile gaming device. And here's my review of it if you're interested. But when you pair the Steam Deck with a decent docking station, whether that's the original one or one from a third party, now you're no longer simply looking at an excellent mobile gaming device, but a pretty strong all-rounder too. If the Steam Deck as a mobile device is a 10 out of 10, then as a desktop gaming PC, I'd call it a 6, just because it's a little underpowered, by modern standards. As a workstation, also a 6 out of 10, because of the compatibility issues. Ultimately, you can get around most of those. Hell, you can even just install Windows on it if you really want to. But my point is, it's not seamless. Now, would I recommend buying a dock if you already own or plan to own a Steam Deck? Absolutely. You are missing out on so much if you don't. But is Valve's official dock worth the extra money? Probably not. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. This is a small channel, but I really enjoy making these videos, and I would really appreciate it if you'd hit like and subscribe. Thank you.